All right, good evening and welcome. It is Tuesday, December 13th, 2022, and we're convened as the Provo City School District Board of Education. We're meeting at 280 West, 940 North in Provo, Utah, and we will begin with a roll call. And we'll start with Derek.
Derek Anderson, Business Administrator.
Gina Hales, Board Member.
Jennifer Partridge, Board Member.
Rebecca Nielsen, Board Vice President.
Melanie Hall, Board President.
Keith Rutell, Superintendent.
McKay Jensen, Board Member.
Harry McCabe, Board Member.
Nate Bryson, Board Member.
Is there a motion to convene?
I move that we convene our business meeting.
All right, we are now in our business meeting. I have the opportunity to give the opening remarks. Last evening, I was able to go to the CAPS showcase where the kids were able to show what they've been working on for the entire semester and hear their experiences of working with their clients and whatnot. And what a neat opportunity we have in this district. You know, they're in their third semester of doing this, and I'm so happy to see this coming to fruition and seeing kids taking and learning these real life skills. And it was fun to talk to them and say, you know, are you excited to maybe go into engineering? And, you know, some of them honestly said, no, this was something this taught me. This is not something I enjoy, but this was something good for them. Or, no, I'm so excited I get to do CAPS again next semester. You know, so, but each opportunity, I really hope that people in the district can learn about this opportunity and take advantage of it. But if you would join me in a word of prayer. Our dear Heavenly Father, we're so grateful that we can meet here as a school board, that we will be able to make the best decisions as we move forward. We're grateful for all thy many blessings and for the bountiful moisture that we've been receiving. We're grateful for everything which thou hast given to us. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Next, we're going to have Independence High School's Junior ROTC Lions Battalion give the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, arms. Mark time, march. Forward, march. Mark time, march. Color, ball.
Thank you so much. Next, I'm going to turn the time over to Deputy Superintendent Jason Cox, and we will do our employee recognition of the Provo Way Awards.
Good evening, School Board. Thank you again for this opportunity to recognize such a wonderful group of people. I'm going to call out their names and ask that you just stand when we call your name so we can applaud you for your work. And then we have a video that we'll be watching of what we put together when we presented the award. Afterwards, we'd love for you to get the opportunity, actually give the board the opportunity to thank you personally. So we're going to have you come up and go along the front here and allow them to thank you. But when we get there, I'll make sure I prompt you again, okay? So the group we're recognizing tonight is Angie Judd, Carla Johnson, Megan Clark, Ruth Ann Snow, and Tina Meekum. Let's give them a round of applause. Like popcorn. Okay, well, let's go ahead and watch our...
I just wanted to thank you for being so awesome. You're such a big part of the library crew here at Wasatch, and we're just glad to have you.
I nominated Angie because I love coming into the library and seeing all the children huddled around the desk over there, just telling Miss Angie about their day. When they're having a bad day too, they'll talk to her openly, and she's always got a listening ear. And so I just think the library is a safe, wonderful place at Wasatch, partly because of Miss Angie.
Angie, we just love Angie. She is a key component in this library, and what makes it a success is in part because of Angie. And we just love having you here. You are amazing.
We, as teachers of our school and our whole district, are so grateful for all you do for us. And we feel like you always have our back, and you're always looking out for us. And we're just so appreciative. And thank you for helping us help our kids.
Carla, what can I say? We absolutely love you. And if anything, our children, our students really miss you. But here's the thing, you are helping our teachers help our students. And your influence and your support has expanded not only from Timpview High School, but to our middle schools and to Provo High School as well. And so we know we have to share you, but we also know what our children are getting in the end too, so we celebrate you as well.
Megan is incredible. She pours her heart and soul into helping students and teachers. She goes above and beyond overseeing the interventions at our school. If we don't have the resources we need, she spends hours preparing them. There have been many nights that she has stayed late at school organizing our differentiated learning. As a team, we asked for help to try a new intervention we were unfamiliar with. Megan studied the program overnight and had the stack of materials ready for us the very next day. We have quickly learned that if we ask for Megan's help with anything, she always exceeds our expectations. She cares deeply about the progress of our students. She has even taught intervention classes herself when paras are unable to meet with their groups so they don't skip a day. She has a relationship with the students at our school, particularly those who are facing emotional or behavioral challenges. She has gained their love and respect through her gentleness and high expectations. The teachers at our school can rely on her help and expertise in the most difficult of situations. Megan has worked so hard this year as our new facilitator. Our faculty can't stop talking about what an incredible job she has done.
Well, Ruth Ann was actually nominated by a parent, but any of us could have nominated her. She has done an amazing job. She's been outstanding. We've had several principals, and she is doing a great job. And she's really working hard to get to know all the students' names and to just how to help the teachers, and we just really appreciate her.
We are so lucky to have Ruth Ann as our principal, and it's kind of nerve-wracking when you have a change like that, and she has just made it not bad at all. In fact, it's been wonderful. She's such a hard worker. She puts her whole soul into everything she does. The feeling that's here at the school is happy, joyful. You're just so supportive, and we all feel that. The teachers, the staff, the students, and we just can't thank you enough for how much of yourself you're bringing to Spring Creek.
I nominated Tina because she has been an incredible help, as this is my first year at Amelia. She has made sure that I know what I should be doing and how to help the school the best, and she's just the glue that holds our school together.
Tina is Amelia Earhart. I mean, she's the face that greets everyone. She's what sets the tone and culture of our school to be such a positive and happy place, and we're grateful for all she does. So thank you, Tina.
What a wonderful group. Okay, as I mentioned, we'd love to give the school board the opportunity to thank you personally. So if you don't mind, we'll have you come up right over here and start, and we'll have you just walk along the front. Be very careful, there is a cord here, but we'd like to give them that chance to thank you personally. And thank you, such a wonderful group.
Congrats. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Megan. Congrats.
Thanks for everything.
Congrats. Thank you so much. Thank you
So much.
Congratulations. Thank you.
You're the best.
Thank you so much.
So much for everything.
It's always such a fun thing to be able to recognize these amazing employees in our district. So congratulations again on receiving the Provo Way Award. We're going to turn the time over next to Jacob Griffin, who is the principal at Independence High School, and he's going to give us a report.
Good evening, board. It's great to be here this evening to be able to share some time together and talk about one of my favorite topics, which is Independence High School, a place I call home and I love very much. Independence High School, who are we? We are about 250 plus students, lots of caring teachers, support staff, administrators, social workers who show up every single day for these students, 88 of which come from Timpview boundaries, 125 from Provo, 31 out of district, 126 male students, 119 female students. We have 40 ninth graders and 69 10th and 11th graders and 67 12th graders. So a good mix of the various grades, personalities, and cognitive abilities and brain development. Successes. This is one thing that we have felt pretty good about over the last 10 years or so at Independence High School, is the gains and the efforts that not only Independence High School has made, but Provo City School District with Provo and Timpview as well, as a whole district focusing on graduation. Remembering that each of these percents are another student that walks across the stage with a diploma in their hand, ready for the future and ready to move on to something great or something that they're dreaming of. As many of you know, we have been on comprehensive school improvement based on graduation rate, which many of the alternative schools in Utah have been. We've seen that as an opportunity and a chance to grow and to learn from others and to learn from consultants who can come in and share with us ideas they have, looking in from the outside. These are just a few of the pieces of our school improvement plan that have, in our opinion, had some effect. Grade checks and goal setting. We went originally from compliance, students completing those, advisory teachers completing those with the students, to actually impact. 45% completing them in class to 80% of students doing grade checks and goal setting. 27 students receiving incentives for meeting their goals, to over 55 students meeting their goals, which is passing classes and their attendance in their classes. So these are some of the incentives they can win. This is the form that they fill out. We feel that this cognitive skill for students who may have not learned this before is an important part of their learning at Independence High School, how to set goals and how to achieve them, and then to be recognized when they do achieve them. An example of a student's goal setting that they completed. And one of the highlight activities is a field trip with horseback riding that these students really enjoyed, that had never done it before. We also have differentiated staff professional learning that we've done over the last 6 to 8 years. We felt that even at a small school, Each teacher's at a different part in their learning and in their professional growth. And so some of those topics have been deep learning, restorative practices, special ed strategies, and AVID strategies that we've had at the school. We had kind of a science fair, if you will, or teacher fair, where expert groups did research on 3 big problems at our school. And the one that the school chose to focus on 4 or 5 years ago was attendance, which was presented. This is one of the book groups that studied deep learning. And then also our professional development plans, which always include teacher choice, so that teachers can choose which professional development they participate in. And then finally, one of the things that's still growing is our hybrid parent-teacher conferences and parent nights and attendance team. We had about 15% attendance of parents to 25% at the conferences that we had because of our efforts to improve them. And then average daily attendance over the last few years has definitely improved 5 or 10% with the students that are coming to our school. On those parent-teacher conference nights, we try to pass out awards based on advisory. We have dinner for the families where the teachers sit and eat with the families and try to provide that for the community. So it's a more community event where everyone can come and participate. A lot of these interventions were not only decided on by the leadership team, but there was collaboration, which we feel is a key aspect of Independence High School success. It's not perfect and it still needs to be improved, but our perspective is if more constituents in the community, especially our parents, have a connection to Independence High School, they're the first line of defense in getting their kids up out of bed and getting them to school. So if we have a connection with them, then that only helps the attendance and the success of the students at Independence High School. So parents of students currently attending school have been in collaboration with us on some of these plans. Teachers, principals, and other school leaders at the school, like the leadership team, the PBIS team, our Friday PLC meetings. Stakeholders representing the interests of students with disabilities, English learners, and other vulnerable populations. We've had conversations with the departments at our school and at the district, and then parents who represent these populations are also on our community council and PBIS teams. Other community members and partnerships, Elks Lodge Community Action Food Bank is a big part of some of the holistic help that we give our students at our school, and then Wasatch Mental Health through the New Vista program and other grants are a huge help to what we do at Independence High School. As part of the CSI process, we were asked to present to the state board, which included many other members of alternative schools who were on that board, about what we're going to do to continue improving. In showing them the graph, I tried to explain to the board, the group that we presented to, that what we're doing seems to be working. So we don't necessarily want to change a lot of what we're doing. We want to continue to embed, continue to deepen, and continue to improve at a deeper level some of the things that we feel have been helping us be successful. And then take some of those things, like the grade checks, and improve our multi-tiered systems of support between teachers so they can communicate more about specific students and their needs. The professional development, I'll meet one-on-one with the teachers to talk through essentials so we can move into some more project-based learning activities and continue our partnerships with the Bike Collective, create partnerships with Restore, look at Greenhouse, Audio House, which is a music recording company, and then our continual JRTC community partnerships. We feel that these experiences for the students not only broaden their understanding of the community and the opportunities they have outside of our school, but also deepen their learning of the content that we're trying to teach in the school. And then as we continue to coordinate and try and reach out to the community, adding parent culture nights, social media campaigns, where communicating with our parents is pretty difficult and there's not a lot of two-way communication always. We hope to get every single parent on some form of social media or going to our website so that when we do have important information to share, these culture nights or other parent nights that we hold at our school, they can know about them and they can participate. Once again, I'm excited about our growth over the years. Despite this growth, you know, there still is a 21% of the kids that walk through our doors that don't walk across the stage with a diploma, by the end of May. Some of those do go on to adult education, but others don't finish their education as far as we know. And so there's always room for improvement, and those kids still, pull at our heart when they're not able to finish. So we'll keep trying to improve and push that as far as we can. Some of the highlights just from this year, our leadership team was able to go on a small overnighter together to build some unity up Provo Canyon. At the beginning of the year, a generous donation from someone in the community allowed about 150 of our students to go to the mall and purchase new clothing, and then hold a back-to-school night where they provided food for all the families, and the students could pick up their clothing as kind of a welcome back to school, so they would feel comfortable coming to school in clothes that they felt good in. Our bike shop continues to expand, and kids still get to participate. That's a partnership with Provo Bicycle Collective, where twice a week students learn how to fix bikes, which is a transferable skill to the future that they can use either for their own business or for their families. And then the other 3 days a week, as part of the PE class, they get a ride on the river trail that's right next to our school. Our staff, of course, is always a highlight. Our faculty and staff every year are the true workhorses that show up every day and emotionally work with our students to get them to succeed. Our students get to participate in attendance barbecues, where some of the best brisket in the valley is smoked by Chris Miller, our social worker. And students who have improved in their attendance and who are attending 80% or more of the time get to enjoy walking tacos and many other snacks that we provide. And of course, our students are a huge highlight as well at Independence High School. Their energy, their excitement, their challenges help each one of us get up each day, remembering that this is why all of us in this room do what we do. It's because these students need us, and the things that they can do are amazing. And the final highlight is our local band, which I was able to participate in at the beginning of the year, called Fill in the Lines, named after one of our great counselors, Phil Sudweeks. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions or comments?
I got a quick question. I'm so interested to know, you mentioned at the very beginning that you have 250 students, but 31 of them come out of district. And I was just thinking to myself, I love what's going on at Independence, and in my mind, it just feels like people would want to come there. And so is that where kids are coming from? They're coming from out of district, or are these kids who had already choiced into our district, like through elementary and middle school? Like, how does that happen?
Yeah, so there's a mix of day treatment program that's at our school. So some of them get treatment within Provo and attend Independence High School. Some students who move out of the district plead with their parents to stay with us, because although there are alternative options in Alpine and Nebo, they feel that the relationships they built with the teachers really benefited them. And then you have other students who have friends in other districts as well, who have talked about Independence High School and feel like it'd be a great fit for them, which is a testament to what our teachers do, because they are being driven by their parents or taking UTA because there isn't transportation outside of the district. So it's a mix of various individuals coming there.
That's fabulous. I just want to make one more quick comment, and I can't remember if I've already made this comment to you or if it was Chris Sorensen a while ago, but a long time ago, my husband and I took care of youth in state's custody, and all of our kids went to Independence, and it was a very, very different school, and I absolutely love the environment that's there now. It's so different, and it seems like it's just so encouraging and just so positive, and I'm so thrilled with the way things are going there and all of the increases and all of the percentages you show there, the graduation rate. I'm just very happy with what's going on there. So I appreciate everything that you are doing and your teachers, and just if you want to just express that to your staff over there and let them know that we are so happy with what's going on. And well, at least me, I won't speak for the board, but and tell them thank you for everything they're doing.
For sure, thank you. Appreciate that.
So I have a quick question. With your graduation rates, they're phenomenal. It's so awesome to see them going up like that. How do you compare to other alternative schools around the state?
Yeah, so I think Provo District, I don't know, wasn't unique, I think 5 to 7, 8 years ago in trying to figure out, I think within the last decade, a lot of the districts have been trying to figure out how to look at graduation rate and figure out specifically the place that the alternative high school has in the district. The Alternative Education Association has helped a lot with that, where alternative schools, we meet together and discuss best practices and what each school is doing. So other schools as well have in the last 5 to 7 years increased their graduation rate significantly, upwards of 70, 80% as well. There are a few that are in the 30 to 40 range still that are also part of the CSI that we meet with as well, and we're discussing ideas with them. So actually throughout the Wasatch Front, the percents are similar to other alternative schools.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
That's humble. He's killing it. I'm involved in education. The Independence is killing it. They're doing really, really well. They're not like everybody else. They're doing really, really well in comparison to almost anybody else.
Thanks.
I have a question. Jacob, you're a fantastic administrator here in our school district, not just Independence. What can the rest of the district learn from Independence?
It's a good question. I think the idea of a holistic education, meaning the academics, while holding high expectations is really important, there's so many more complex things going through a teenage brain, at least an adolescent's brain, that at times, in the effort to teach to the larger group, to cover everything, I think at times, not on purpose, gets lost and forgotten. I think Independence is a good example of not forgetting that students are complex individuals who, even though they show up and they sit down and you talk at them, you know, they often need much more than simply the instruction you're giving them. And not to say that it's not happening in all our schools, because I feel like Provo, with the commitment we've made to social workers, to other resources, does an amazing job. But if there was an area that I think, you know, alternative schools do excel, it's definitely that. Understanding the complexity of an adolescent and trying to meet them where they're at.
I congratulate you on dealing with the complexities, and I couldn't have been, you know, prouder of anything that is, you know, that decade is I've been part of watching that closely, and so I'm really proud of, you know, when you started there and everything that you've done, how you've you know, launched the place, and the feeling that your students and your faculty have for the place, for you, and more importantly for each other, is the very best in education. I'm glad that you mentioned that it's complex. Because it's ironic that one of the few places that embraces complexity and not just get it done, just hit the deadline, just no excuses, is the alternative school that understands complexity. I do think that's a lesson that we need to learn all the way across our district, is every kid is complex. And meeting those needs takes resources, and that's the rub. But you've and your faculty have shown that the board wanted to always invest resources that you could address complexity, and so thank you for that, and thank you for being, you know, one of the best in the business.
Thank you, and we also appreciate the support and the resources we receive. We realize it's a big part of what we can do.
I've got a question, and I echo all the amazing words that have been said. You're doing great things. What are some challenges or needs that you have?
Yeah, it's still difficult when I look at some students who are showing up 80% of the time, and still failing classes, and trying to parse out, because we often tell kids, especially when we interview them, when they want to come to Independence High School, we interview every student, have kind of a welcome interview with the parents, and we say, you know, we do amazing things and we can when you're here. We're not a homebound service per se, and so when you're not in the building, it makes it really hard for us to provide these resources that you have. But then when kids are coming and still not able to thrive, and figuring out why, and trying to tweak things here or there to get them to not only invest in attendance, but then invest in academics, that's still something that I'm trying to figure out. It's not large scale, but it happens with some students enough where I just think, you know, how can we work on that? And as far as the needs, you know, I think as we go forward and continue to try and push the envelope with education and innovation, community and board support in possibly less conventional ways of educating our students, and allowing the graduation requirements, whatever the state's going to decide on that, to be more of a, maybe less restrictive, would be hugely beneficial to the alternative high schools all across the state, in my opinion, because there are different needs that a lot of those students have, and sometimes the traditional requirements don't always fit those needs, and sometimes it feels a little bit restrictive in that way. I know that's a larger discussion, not so much this group here, but that's definitely needed in the future. Support and trust that we're trying to do what's best for kids, even if it seems unconventional.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You're doing phenomenally as usual. I'm not with you this year, but I enjoyed being able to work with you for the previous year. One of the things that I worry about is, because you are a phenomenal principal, and I worry what's going to happen when, because you will eventually move on, whatever that looks like. Do you feel like there are some things in place at the school that someone could easily step in, and with their own personality, of course, and their own whatever strengths? Do you feel like it's a place where someone could come in and build off of what you have started, or not started because you built off of somebody else's, but to continue what you're doing?
Yeah, the office might be a little more professional when I'm gone, but yeah, I think definitely so. A lot of these things that we're developing at Independence High School, and that we've continued even before I got there, are philosophies and I think feelings that are embedded and truly believed by our teachers and our staff and our support staff. And many of them are championed by those individuals. I support them. I might come up with some of the ideas. People might refine them and run with them. And as long as I can kind of get out of the way but provide the finances or the approval or whatever, a lot of them kind of happen on their own, which is great. And so I have full confidence in those that are there now, and the students themselves who are buying into what we're doing and continuing the success and the feel and the best practices that have been implemented at Independence High School, for sure.
Thanks.
Well, thank you, and will you just
Thank
take
you.
back to all your faculty and staff the amazing things that they're doing there.
I will, for sure. Thank you very much.
All right, we've come to the portion of public input. If you would like to speak to the board, on my right is a paper that needs to be filled out and handed to Bonnie over here. Angie Carter.
Hi, my name is Angie Carter. I'm from Provo, Utah. I live down by the Utah State Hospital. I'm going to read my comments. During the November 8th board study session, the construction update noted that Shoreline Middle School, the Army Corps of Engineers had cleared the board to use the wetlands as it wishes. I am talking today to encourage the board to preserve those wetlands and use them to enhance the science program in the district. I actually grew up in Wisconsin. I didn't grow up here. And we took field trips to our local river to do science field work. I was only in between 6th and 8th grade. Then it was a foundational experience for me. I feel like we're potentially losing an opportunity to really enhance the education of our students in giving up this resource. Like I said, it will provide an education, enriched science education for students. And I think it also shows our community that we not only care about education, but we care about Provo itself and the land around it and our environment. And I think those are things that it would be good for the district to do. And then the second thing is I work with a lot of youth in my area, and I'm hearing almost 100% of the youth I'm around. Admittedly, it's not a strong sample size, but 23 out of 23 is still a lot of kids. They think school is boring and uninspiring. Their experience is a big contrast to what we just heard from Independence High School, where it sounds like the kids actually want to go to school and are having a good experience. I'm not exactly sure what the problems are, but I suspect that maybe there's too much of a focus on testing or getting students through curriculum. I think too much of a focus on short-term learning is actually impeding students actually retaining what they're learning, and more importantly, just enjoying the process. And so I would love for the district to do something to reach out to parents, do a focus group with students, find out what they want, what they need, and start making some changes that will help students be more engaged in the process. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to address the board? All right, seeing none, I'm going to close our public input part and move on to our business items. So do you want me to do the Google Calendar first or after?
Doesn't really matter.
I'll do it after. Okay. So the first item is we need to approve the calendar for the 2024-2025 school year. I'm going to have Jason Cox come up and just speak a little bit about that.
Yes, thank you for this opportunity. We each year work through a process to try to present the school board with a calendar which takes input from our community. This year we started that process in October, gathering information through surveys about how they would like us to build the calendars, looking at those for the future. After that, we presented an A and a B option to the community and received quite a few votes in return. One of the two calendars, Calendar A, had a 70% vote in favor of it. It starts a little earlier than Calendar B. It starts on the 13th of August and has a full 2-week Christmas break. That's what makes it a little bit different from Calendar B. But with that, we would like tonight to present to you Calendar A as the option for approval for the 24-25 school year. Again, we will post that as a tentative calendar because there may be a need in the future for us to adjust it.
All right, is there a motion?
I move that we tentatively approve calendar A as discussed in study session.
All right, motion made by board member Nielsen. Is there a second?
I'll second it. Let Nate have it. It's
I'm
his
gonna let
last
him have
week.
it.
I second it.
All right, second by board member Bryson. Is there any other further comment on this?
I had a question I forgot to ask. When you disappeared too fast, I didn't see where the professional development was in the calendar. Are you going to add that later?
Yeah, we actually do usually put that in later. It's a part of what we discuss with our negotiation groups. And the school board sets the professional development, but we work with our employee groups on, and our PTA and others on looking at what are days that are favorable for the community.
That's it.
Okay. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously. I'm going to ask Derek to speak about the Domo services request.
Board, so what you have before you is a purchase request for Domo for data analytics. It's a data analytics software that will help us to be more data driven, be able to drill into some of the metrics, be able to be more transparent and embed things into our website so people can see things. And so overall, we believe this will be a value added to the district to be able to help us identify metrics around the district and also be able to sorry, I just drew a blank as I look back at that. But be able to do the data analytics and be more transparent with our public. So.
All right, is there a motion?
I move that we approve the large purchase request for Domo services in the amount of $90,000 as discussed in the study session.
Motion made by Board Member Partridge. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Right, second by Board Member Jensen. Is there any further comment on this?
I did. When we had our meeting with Representative Marcia Judkins, Alex pulled out his phone and quickly got some information about free and reduced lunches, and I was really frustrated that this data was even available. I didn't even know that we could get this data. So if we have something like a database like this so that we could do a couple of clicks and I could get it up without having to bother Derek or Keith's replacement, then that will make everybody's lives a lot easier. So please vote yes.
All those in favor? Any other further comments? All right, all those in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Derek, will you speak about the what is this? The construction management?
Yep. So what you have before you, Board, is a purchase request for a construction manager. Right now, we currently have 3 construction projects underway that I've had to be heavily involved in, and this would allow us to bring in extra capacity temporarily as these projects are occurring, and then as the projects fall off or as our capacity is no longer needed at that level, we can then shed this contract with that need also.
All right, is there a motion?
I move that we approve the large purchase request for $6,437 per month, $77,244 annually, as discussed in study session.
Motion made by Board Member Hales. Is there a second?
Can I make a request? Gina's going to hate me, but can we have in the wording on there what the purchase is for? So for construction management, or how would you phrase that, Derek?
So yeah, I would say for Navigate construction management services.
Or Navigate construction.
Hey Gina.
Services.
I don't want to do it. Jennifer, go ahead.
Can Bonnie add that in?
Every time. I thought I had it too.
Okay, you did. It wasn't there before.
You want me to do it? I move that we approve the large purchase request for $6,437 per month, $77,244 annually, as discussed in study session for construction management services.
All right, motion made by Board Member Hales. Is there a second?
Go ahead.
Second. All right, second by Board Member Nielsen. Is there any further comment?
Derek, what's the average cost of an FTE in
at ballpark is probably $100,000. It's 80 to 100 grand.
with insurance and all of that? It's about 100. Now, if it was a construction specialist, would it be a little bit more?
Oh, absolutely.
And so this is cheaper than hiring someone?
Yes.
And do we need the manpower?
Temporarily.
Temporarily. And this is just temporary? Okay.
Correct.
It's just a one-year contract, correct?
Correct.
Gina?
I just want to say that I'm very grateful for this because I get phone calls from Derek about all kinds of things. Poor guy. And he called me once and I'm like, why hasn't your wife told you to quit? Like, there's just too much happening. And he's a great find for the district. I've said it before. And I'm relieved that we're giving him a little bit of relief because if we had to find another business administrator, one, I'm sure we'd find someone that did a good job. But Derek's great. And two, it would cost us money. To do the search and to do all of that. So I feel like this is a good, for the public, I believe this is a good use of funds. And like Nate pointed out, for other reasons, I think it's a good use of funds.
And this person will have our back and help save us money.
Yes, I agree.
That is one thing that they guarantee that they will save, recover their cost in savings. So.
All right, any further comment? All right, all those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously. All right, next we have the consent calendar. Is there a motion?
I move we approve the consent calendar.
All right, motion made by Board Member Jensen. Is there a second?
I second.
Second by Board Member Bryson. Are there any further comments on this?
I do.
Okay, go ahead, Terry.
Derek, on the executive summary report on page 12. Are you there? Okay, under expenditures, how come coaches' salaries aren't listed here?
So,
Instead of under typical personnel, why? Because coaches aren't.
so what you see here is that we typically group things by category, right? So what you see is salaries are all grouped together. So if they happen to pay any salaries out of there, no matter what type, whether it's a coach, whether it's an advisor, it will line up in that salary line. The reason why there's nothing there right now is because nothing has been paid out of this fund for any salaries currently. So right now they're all coming out of the operations.
Okay, and then on page 15, at the very bottom, I didn't realize Dixon was under construction.
Page 13?
15?
Just the last page.
Oh, 15.
It should just be changed to Shoreline.
Yep, that should just be changed to Shoreline. I'll have to have our team update that description.
Thank you. That's all my questions.
All right, any other further comments? All right, all those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously. All right, I'm going to go back to our agenda and talk about upcoming calendar items. So we have winter break coming up on December 19th through January 2nd. And then we'll have a business meeting. It's not going to be in the Capitol Rotunda, though.
Well,
That's
it's
what I was
virtual.
wondering.
Okay, this
It's going to be in the Capitol Rotunda?
You'll be in the Capitol Rotunda?
Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh, I'm thinking the 28th Capitol meeting that we're approving. Sorry. What?
Right. Okay. So, but it says it's in the okay. No. So this will be in. I think this is being done via Zoom, if I correct. This is going to be a Zoom meeting on December 28th.
Correct.
Are we still doing it at 9 a.m.?
Correct.
At 9 a.m. So December 28th at 9 a.m. will be a Zoom meeting, and Bonnie, you'll send out an invitation to us for that one? Okay. Thank you. And then we have USBA conference coming up on January 5th through the 7th. We're really looking forward to that. And then we have our study session on January 10th. And PTA Reflections Assembly will be Thursday, January 12th at Provo High School Auditorium. And then a study session on January 24th, and that will be in the morning. I'm guessing 7:30. So.
The reflections, if you want to go, will start at 7.
So the reflections will start at 7?
Yep.
Okay. Any further questions or comments about the upcoming events? All right, I'm going to turn the time over next to Rebecca Nilsson for her board report.
Thank you. For my board report, I typically like to go through my board notebook and make a quick note of all the things I've been doing and report on my the things I do as a board member. But recently, I completely filled a notebook. It's a 2-year project, and I don't have it with me. And so you just only get the first 5 pages of my new notebook. So it's going to be a short report today. But anyways, what I am going to quickly report on is the very most recent thing I've done as a board member, which was attending an AVID conference with the team from Dixon Middle School, and we also had some Provo High staff members there as well. While I'm not directly in the classrooms teaching with AVID strategies and whatnot, I'm a big supporter of the program, and I really love what it brings to our schools and to the district, and the potential that it has to really bring rigor and a lot of success to our district in the future. And I will just talk about my very favorite class that I took, which has a really fancy title. But it was a fabulous class. It was all about disciplinary literacy. Disciplinary literacy just refers to the different forms of literacy you have to be taught and understand throughout the different disciplines that are taught in our schools. And it was very, very thought-provoking and so interesting to learn about how we put so much emphasis on literacy K through 3, because that's when the foundational, principles of literacy are established in every child, and we hope that they're reading by grade 3, but once that kind of passes, it's not emphasized nearly as much. But even up into the secondary levels, students have to be able to think and write like a scientist in their science classes, and they have to be able to think and write like a mathematician in their math classes, and that's very different than the way you do it as a scientist. And they have to be able to think and write like a historian in their history classes, which is different from the other two ways you would do literacy in the other classes, and the same with English classes. And so it was just talking about how to incorporate teaching literacy specific to disciplines all the way up through the secondary levels and incorporating that into classrooms. And it was so interesting, so thought-provoking, and so well done. And I learned so much just from that one class alone, but we took 9 full classes. It was a lot of time and energy spent in learning, but a lot of really wonderful, awesome things. So just know that board members are continually educating themselves so that we can keep up with what's happening in the district, and so that we can be hopefully good and effective board members. And that's my report.
Well, thank you. I'm going to turn the time over to the superintendent.
Thank you. I've just got a few little items to review. First of all, I have approved 5 in-state travel for high schools, 4 with Provo High School, 1 with Timpview. Those are all per policy. Secondly, I'd like to say thank you to McKay and Nate for your support and friendship during this past term. I would also like to say thanks to all who have been involved in determining what happens in the morning. Derek and I, in fact, we've got a group of about 10 people. We were texting each other at about 4:10 this morning, and that's always fun. And looking at the weather for the next couple of mornings, we'll be doing it again. The good news is between 2 a.m. and 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, we're projected to have 0.6 of an inch of snow, so that should not be enough to do too much damage, hopefully. And then finally, Cade, would you mind displaying that picture, please? Is it up there?
Try.
Not that one. Okay, the narrative on the picture, it was going to be a picture of a little baby at 1 a.m. this morning, so it was a really short night for me. 1 a.m. this morning, my daughter Eve had Ben Lito Rattel Mills, 8 pounds, 12 ounces, 1 a.m. So I will be seeing him. You can see he takes after his mother. He's a nudist, and and I will be going and holding him in about a week and a half. Thank you. That's my report.
Well, congratulations on the new grandbaby. Before we close, so every 2 years, we have elections that happen, and because of those elections, we also have turnover on the board. And we would like to say thank you as a board and as a district to our 2 outgoing members of the board, to McKay Jensen and Nate Bryson. And I can't speak for the whole board, but maybe I can on this one. You both have been invaluable. So thank you so much for everything you've done. We wish you the very best in your next endeavors, and don't be strangers. There's open seats. Come and join us anytime. So thank you so much for everything you guys have done, and we wish you the very best.
I'll be here for the truth and taxation meetings.
Well, that comes to that's the end of our meeting. We appreciate everyone for being here tonight. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.